Today we are going to be looking at writing equations in slope-intercept form. So we previously had talked about graphing equations in slope-intercept form. So just a reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, with that b representing your y-intercept and the m representing your slope. So there are three steps that we're going to follow to write our equation. So the first thing we're going to do is identify or find the y-intercept. That y-intercept occurs where we cross the y-axis. So whatever that number is. So it could be 5, it could be -2, just depending on where you're crossing that y-axis, we are going to have that number down for b, our y-intercept. And then the second step is to find the slope, and we're going to use rise over run. Remember, if you rise up, it's a positive slope. If you fall down, then it's going to be a negative slope. And we're still going to run to the right every single time. So we're going to take our lefternmost point and decide if we rise up and become positive or fall down and become negative, and then run to the right. And then lastly, we're just going to plug it into slope-intercept form. The very important part here is that y and x do not change. We are taking our numbers for m and b and plugging them in. So looking at our first example here, it says, which of the following is an equation in slope-intercept form for the line shown on the graph? So the first thing I am going to look for is the y-intercept. So where we are crossing that y-axis. That y-axis is that vertical line. We are crossing at -3. So our b is equal to -3. And then the next thing we're going to find is our slope. And so looking at finding our slope, doing rise over run, I'm going to take that y-intercept, that -3. I'm going to pick that point, and I'm going to look for another nice and pretty point, which is right here. And so I'm going to count up 1, 2 steps up, and then 1 step to the right. So we are going up 2 and to the right 1 step. That makes our slope +2 over 1, or just 2. So we are going to look for an answer that has our y-intercept as a -3. So we can cancel out or say no to A and C because they both have a +3. And then our slope is a +2. So our answer for example 1 is going to be B. There we go. Okay. Example 2 here is not multiple choice. We're going to do all the steps. So the first thing we're going to do is find our y-intercept. So I look and see where we are crossing that y-axis. And so our b, or y-intercept, is a 1, +1. Sorry, my dogs are acting like they're going to bark, so I apologize in advance if they get noisy. The dryer is making a lot of noise. And so from that y-intercept, I'm next going to find my slope. So I'm going to start with that y-intercept, and I'm going to find another pretty point, and I see one here at 1, -2. You can also use slope formula once you pick your points. And so if you'd like to use slope formula, our points here are 0, 1, and 1, -2. So you can do rise over run or your slope formula. Remember that slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that can help you find slope as well. So you don't have to do rise over run. You can use your points. I'm going to continue to do rise over run because we did several slope videos already, slope formula. So I'm going to practice with doing rise over run. Now to go from left to right on my graph, I'm going to start on the lefternmost point, which is that y-intercept, and then go to the right. So it looks like I fall down 1, 2, 3 points. I go down 3 and then over 1. So my slope is down 3 and over 1, which is a -3 over 1, which just makes my slope -3. So my final answer, my equation, y equals, my slope is -3, x plus my y-intercept, which is just 1. That is our equation. Okay, we have two more examples real quick. Our first one has a slope of -3/2. So it gives us our slope. We just need to find that y-intercept. So if I look and see where we cross that special vertical line, it's here at 4. So we have our slope. We now have our y-intercept. We can put this into our format. Y equals slope -3/2x plus b, which is 4. And then example 4, we have a slope of 3. It tells us here a slope of 3. And we are going to find our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is here at 2. So our b is 2. So our equation is y equals 3 x plus 2. And there we have it.